What's going on, people? I just want to speak on, a lot of people have been speaking on the House approving reparations for the LGBTQ community. And I'm going to give you my reason on why they approved this. I'm giving you my reasons on why they approved reparations for the LGBTQ community right after black people start asking for reparations. Keep in mind, this never came to focus, and maybe it was being done in the background, and this is just their way of bringing it out, but they never thought about reparations for gay couples, so-called married couples, until black people started speaking reparations for slavery. And again, they told them from the very jump start, no, you're not getting reparations. In my opinion, this is no more than a message to black Americans. And it's interesting that they approved that so quickly. Unanimously, they approved this. No resistance at all. But they're telling black people that if you want reparations, you have to first vote me as president of the United States. Notice there were no requirements for the LGBTQ community to get reparations. So they're telling black people, if you vote for me, you will get reparations. But at first they were talking about how expensive it would be. But yet unanimously they approved for gay reparations. Another reason why, because it's their way of nation building. We talk about how America is the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, but it's not official. It takes money to build a nation. So if the LGBT community receive reparations like the Jews did, and keep in mind the Jews received reparations and they were able to build. And now, as many people say, the Jews own so much here in America. They control America, according to what many have said. But if they were to receive billions of dollars in reparations, gays will take that money and build businesses, and their power base, their power structure, then their power would go beyond just protesting for rights. Their power would become official. This would become a gay nation, because now they would have that monetary power to really make things happen, to really control their status. And status is a bad word, that's not what I really wanted to use, but it would give them more power. And they would take that and would begin to start building. Now, I spoke in the past of this preacher in Canada that was in a gay section. They had a gay parade, gay police, and when the police was called, they came and they kicked this preacher out. They actually arrested him for being in that area. The gays attacked him because he was in their territory. Do you realize if they're giving billions of dollars in reparations, that's only helping to build their power structure? They will begin to build businesses and really make things happen for them. Another reason why I believe they're receiving reparations is because gay married couples are the new symbols for American family. They now have become the face of what an American family is. Traditional families here in America is man, woman, and then they produce children. They produce a family. That's the traditional family on this planet. But by giving them reparations, because they weren't allowed to receive benefits of married people, and I believe that's what it is, but they weren't able to receive benefits, so now they're going to go back retroactively and pay them monies, enriching their so-called families, building their now symbolic structure of what an American family is. So the whole American family structure is now being refaced and rebuilt. Now, what I find quite interesting about reparations is that gays are talking about how they need reparations because of what they had to endure. Now, let's take a look at what the so-called LGBT community and black people had to endure. Let me show you two different types of civil rights. You have this civil rights for gay people. You see they're standing there in the rain. That must be quite horrific. That's terrible. They have to endure standing in the rain for rights. One sign says gay for pay, and the other sign says gay right something, and then justice for gays, just homosexuals, whatever that is, and then human rights for gays. But you see, they're really suffering. This is why they need reparations, because they're suffering. Now let's take a look at the civil rights movement for blacks. Now keep in mind, the gay reparation was approved by the House immediately. It's a unanimous decision. Everybody voted for it. They were in agreement with it because gays had really suffered. Now look at the civil rights movement for blacks. And they're saying that it's hard to prove if blacks are linked to slavery. They're saying that if blacks wants to receive reparations, they have to vote them into office. Vote me as president and I'll get you reparations. But yet we find here that they really didn't endure anything. This is more of a psychological thing. In my opinion, it's a spiritual issue. Since when do you receive reparations for a spiritual issue? Or even if it's considered a mental issue, unless the government caused that, why would they receive reparations? Especially if they feel they were born that way. Should I receive reparations because I was born so-called black? So why should they receive reparations for being born gay, as they say? But we see here the dogs being sicked on this young man. There's photos out there of the civil rights movement where they were being sprayed down with water hose. Blacks were lynched. Blacks were set on fire. Families were separated during captivity. Both women, men, and children were raped. Pregnant women had babies cut out of their womb in front of the other slaves to instill that fear. In modern time, we have the same situation occurring. The only difference is In this photo, they're using a dog. In 2019, the police are using guns, shooting unarmed blacks. And they're able to walk because they did a good service. So when it comes to the so-called gay reparations, this is no more than a message to the so-called black Americans. This is them telling you that you really mean nothing to us. You're the invisible community. We don't see you. But yet, black people still support the Democrat Party. You're faithful and you're loyal to them. And they're steady showing you what they really think of you. They're steady showing you that you mean nothing to them. That's like, well, I'm not even going to talk about that, but that's all that's happening because you asked for reparations. They say, you know what? You want reparations? Check this out. Yo, gay person, come in. We're going to give this to y'all. We giving you their reparations. This is what they really deserve, but we're going to give it to you. That's like back in the civil rights movement where they say black people couldn't come through the front door, where sign says no dogs allowed, but they allow a dog but tell you have to stay on the outside. In other words, you're not a human. You're not a human being, so you're not welcome, but yet our dog have more rights than you do. So we're going to give these reparations to gay people. We're going to let you know that we really don't care about y'all. You're more than a pawn. And when you stop working for us, then we destroy you. And that's what the Democrat plantation is telling y'all. They just spit right in your face because they turned you against Trump. They have you thinking that the conservatives and Republicans are evil and racist, where at the same time they're showing more racism and hate towards you. So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe. But in my humble opinion, that's the real reason for gay reparations. To send a loud and clear message to the so-called black Americans. And they're telling you that you can receive reparations conditionally if you vote for them. And that's not even guaranteed, because if you look back in time, they've never done anything for black people that they promised you. That's the whole purpose of this Baltimore issue, is the fact that billions of dollars, and I spoke on this in many videos of the past, billions of dollars are coming into these cities and these states for the black community, and the black community don't see it. They may plant a couple of trees, they may paint some swings and sliding boards, and may put some sand in a park, may even give you a basketball court. But the bulk of that money goes to other areas of that city. They move that money around and nothing's being done for black people. Black people are still suffering and refuse to pick themselves up because they expect the government, they expect the Democrat plantation to do for them instead of trying to do for themselves. So this is no more than a message being sent to the so-called black Americans that you really mean nothing to them, and that they're building their gay nation. You're going to start seeing buildings going up, businesses going up, run by gay people. They're going to have their own fire department. They're going to have their own police station that's going to really protect them. They're going to have their own medical centers. Everything they need, they're going to have it. And it's going to be specifically for the gay community. And guess what? They're going to convert a lot of so-called Black Americans. Before you realize that Black Americans, to receive that mark, Black Americans will sell their souls just to be able to reap those benefits. So feedback, tell me what you think. Till next time. I'm fearless.